Since New Mexico is really just one big small town, it should come as no surprise with great honor and humility that I am related to the Moses family. Although distantly, through my father Paul and my grandmother Margaret. Catherine Twaits Moses, Harold's wife, was my grandmother's aunt. Horace Moses' brother Harold, Tough Moses, was the person that I remember the most. Hearing stories from my father, who idolized Tough. They were great and inspirational. Oftentimes, as a young man, wild-eyed stories. Now, there was a reason he was called Tough. Horace was mine superintendent, and Tough was a foreman of the mines during some very difficult economic and social times. Tough's wife, Catherine, was superintendent of the schools for the mining district. My grandmother taught at the old Sully School in Santa Rita in the 20s and 30s. My father, Paul, attended school in Santa Rita from 1924 to 1936. Uncle Tough, as he was so affectionately known in our family, and to many others I suspect, had a great impact on the community, and specifically the kids of the area, through the Boy Scouts. In fact, the Boy Scout camp he established at Mineral Creek, north of Soar City, was active for many years and became known as Camp Tough Moses. The kind of things that successful communities embrace include education, business, charity, and quality of life. And over the span of generations, different people carried the torch, or as has been referred to earlier, the plant, the seed for further generations. Horace, Ben, Uncle Tough, and their families were torchbearers and seed planters for Silver City and Grant County. In fact, their love for each other was similar to their love of family and community. As tough and hardscrabble as Harold was, he was a romantic. He loved dancing the schottische, a dance invented in the Old West. The way the story was told, Uncle Tough would stop whatever he was doing, whatever he was, when the schottische came on, and start dancing with Catherine. One night, while they were dancing and enjoying themselves, he had a medical event and died on the dance floor, dancing his favorite dance in the arms of the woman he loved. Love, commitment, and fulfillment. That's what I remember when I think about the Moses family in Grant County, New Mexico. Briefly, before I finish, I'd like to acknowledge Terry Hung, who could not be here tonight, who was an avid historian of the mining district and co-authored the book Santa Rita del Cobre, a detailed account of the history of the Chino mine in Santa Rita and of course the Moses family. I want to thank you all for coming here, and now I would like to introduce Mr. Tony Trujillo for the Mexico Mining District.
Thank you, JP. And I'll acknowledge from the beginning that I'm not related to the Moses family, but I wish I was. They too scripted me, but as people know me, I don't follow the script either. But I'm truly honored to be here this evening. And I'm here today as a representative and a board member, former president of the New Mexico Mining Association. It's truly an honor to be here in this great event to honor a legendary family. The New Mexico Mining Association is a trade association that was organized in 1939 and was incorporated in 1968. Its membership is composed of companies that explore for, produce, and refine metals, coal, and industrial minerals, and the companies that distribute the supplies and equipment that necessary for mining companies to do their work. We mine copper, coal, molybdenum, potash, hopefully uranium someday, aggregates, that's the sand and gravel, and so forth. Mining is a basic industry that provides essential raw materials and for industrial society, which is really the foundation for a good quality of life. There's about 6,000 New Mexicans right now directly employed in mining throughout the state, and if you use a multiplier, in fact, as many economists do, that means for every one mining job, the impact's about 3, so you've got about 18,000 jobs in New Mexico. As important as the New Mexico Mining Association has been to our industry and our state, both in the past and present, it's only possible because of the deep history, framework, and resources that mining legends of the past have built for our industry. I was born and raised in Silver City and have worked at the mines now there for 39 years. I know I don't look that old, Joe. You told me that. You tell me that before. and if you know anything about the history of mining in that area, the name of Horace Moses comes up. You know, he's one of those legends that comes up in the mining industry down there. There's a lot of great material on your desk, in your tables tonight, and I wanted to just kind of pull out some of the information, so just to give you a flavor of the type of legend that I'm talking about tonight, Horace Moses. He was one of New Mexico's outstanding pioneers in the mining industry. He was born in St. Louis and had moved with his parents to the area when he was about 1 year old. He attended public schools in Silver City and later was a student for 3 years at the Silver City Normal School, now New Mexico Western College. He went to work for Old Santa Rita Mining Company in 1900, staying there for 3 years and working first as a miner and then foreman for a 100-ton concentrating mill located in the mining camp. Leaving Santa Rita, Moses spent the next 6 years working in a number of mining operations in Montana, Utah, Arizona, and Mexico. He returned to Santa Rita in 1909, the year the Chino Copper Company was incorporated to begin mass mining operations in the old mining area. Moses was mine superintendent under the late John Sully, who conceived the giant open pit operation. Moses remained at Santa Rita until 1917, when Chino sent him to Gallup to take charge of his subsidiary, the Gallup American Coal Company. Moses first was general superintendent and later general manager of the Gallup property, and remained there until 1938. In 1938, then, Moses was recalled to Santa Rita to become the general manager of the Chino operation. In the 9 years following, Moses was instrumental in building the division into a much larger and more modern property. During his administration, conversion was made from steam to electric power in the mine. The smelter and the fire refinery were built at Hurley. A lime quarry was begun, and an underground lead zinc mine, the Oswaldo, was developed. And for those of you that have any mining background in Silver City, a lot of these names that I'm reading out here are really legendary names that we all can relate to. Throughout the West and Southwest, Moses obtained recognition as a capable executive who served in the great ability in the development and exploration of the copper mining industry. Few mining men had a wider acquaintance with, she included contact with the thousands of employees working at the mines, mills, and smelters, and had wholesome respect and admiration for him. The reason I wanted to go through all that, because one of the functions of the New Mexico Mining Association is to really go out and not only speak for the industry, but to recognize the legends of our industry that have been around and really were the roots of our industry, and certainly Horace meets that criteria. We have a little did you press this, Joe?
Yes, that's why I keep quiet.
We have what we call a kneeling miner, and we present this award, very special award, to people that we induct into the Hall of Fame of the New Mexico Mining Association. And we do this at our fall convention every year, but when I heard about this recognition that was taking place tonight, our board decided that it was Horace Moses certainly qualified as an individual that needs to be inducted into our Hall of Fame, and we're going to do that in our September convention here in Albuquerque. But I thought it would be a great time to have Tom come up and accept this tonight on behalf of the New Mexico Mining Association, and we'll do it in a formal manner in September when we do that for Horace. So, congratulations. Again, thank you very much, and congratulations to the Moses family.
Thank you, Tony. I appreciate that. I was a little taken aback just because I do know about this award, and for those of you who don't know about it, it is rather prestigious. If you've heard about the people who are in the Mining Association, it's a list of the who's who and the great ones who have made the extraction industries what they are here in New Mexico. Well, now it's time. I know that Tom was sitting over here quite patiently waiting for me to talk a little bit about him. So we'll do that here in a second. And I know that, Turner, you're still wondering about what the score is. I understand that too. And for the rest of you, I have to put in this little quip that both Turner and I it's kind of bittersweet that UNM, the Lobos, did not go to the Final Four, because otherwise I don't think Turner would be here. And my previous university was Florida Gulf Coast University, and as you know, they kind of made it. And I like to tell people, because people ask me these questions all the time, I spent 16 years in it. I've only been at Western for the last year and a half, so I do know the coach who now is a millionaire more times over because he took the USC job. We hired him for $157,000 to give you an idea of what Florida Gulf Coast paid. And I got asked the question when they were making their run into the Sweet 16. He said, Joe, do you miss it? Do you miss the fact that you're not at Florida Gulf Coast University? And I said, no, there's two things I think about. One is when you raise a child, as I did. In this case, we started off with only swamp water and brought it up to 12,000 students. And so I got to see all of that. We built 3 miles of road in and brought in those luxury dormitories that you saw perhaps on the news. Yet it's a lot like raising a child. And they go off to college, and later on they become a Nobel laureate, and somebody says to the parent, are you upset they left the house? No, I'm not. It's what we do. And secondly, the other reason why I'm not upset is we're going to do the same thing at Western New Mexico University. And in 10 years, we will beat Florida Gulf Coast University for the national championship. Yes, we got to get past the Lobos, but we will do that. And we have to switch divisions. You know, copper was the foundation of frontier mining community, such as Santa Rita, Tyrone, Hurley, Hanover, Vanadium, and Fierro. These were communities where smelters and concentrators, smokestacks, marked the way of life. The men and women who made that their home. Not only did copper pour forth, but so too did lead, zinc, iron, and other metals. Minerals such as silver and gold that made these communities strong and great, provided the resources to build them. It is an easy walk, the campus of Western New Mexico University, to see the influences that the copper industry in our part of the world had on our particular university. Generosity from the Phillips Dodge and the previous company labels some of the names of our buildings. Of course, Tony Trujillo provided some insight about the mining industry. Professionally, our heritage at Western New Mexico University is a result of the many long-standing individuals and families that made our university great as we went through various name changes and moved along in our place, from teacher education to the sciences, to health, and to some of the other professions that we now have. There are also those who built our regional economy by helping grow the much-needed mining industry. And oftentimes, particularly in today's world of environmental sustainability and so forth, we look at such things as mining, perhaps differently than we did 50 years ago. But folks, I'm here to tell you, if it wasn't for mining, we would not have the resources to pursue some of the very things that the environmental folks would like us to pursue. And so we at Western New Mexico University believe very strongly in that balance. Now the Moses family has their roots in southwest New Mexico. It was established by John Ash Moses Sr. He came to the New Mexico Territory from St. Louis to be a manager for the Mimbres Consolidated Mining Company at the Mimbres Mill near Silver City. The move and subsequent family he started with his wife Alice Runyon left a mark on New Mexico that can still be felt generations later. One of John's sons, Horace, played a managerial role in helping to modernize one of the world's largest copper mines while working with the Chino Copper Company. While still a young man, Horace Moses and two partners discovered a mine near Santa Rita, New Mexico. Like some of our students today, Horace worked and went to school, starting his formal secondary education at the Silver City Normal School, known today as Western New Mexico University. Horace became a widely known figure in civic and fraternal circles, a ranking Mason member of the York Rite bodies at Santa Fe and the Albuquerque Shrine. He led mine operations at the Kennecott Copper Corporation in Santa Rita until his retirement in 1947. Folks, I wasn't born yet. We'll get to my life in just a second. Now, he was the father to Horace Jr., to Donald, to Thomas, and to Elsie, and a grandfather to 10 impressive children, some of whom are here today, that we will reintroduce. But one of the people I'd like to reintroduce and say a few words about is Mr. Tom Moses. Mr. Moses was born in 1924 in Gallup, New Mexico, and moved with his family to Silver City as a young teen. He then went to New Mexico Military Institute. After graduating, he joined the Army and headed to West Point. He was a career Army in reaching the rank of colonel. After retiring, he returned to New Mexico, setting in Albuquerque, where he earned his master's degree at UNM. He was a little slow. He didn't quite understand about Western, but we'll forgive you. It's okay. I know I have a lot of Lobos out there. And joined the UNM Hospital Administration. He later became head of the Old Town Merchants Association after taking over the management of the Native American Art Store in Nizhoni Moses Gallery in Old Town for Margaret and Turner, who opened the store in the 1980s. Throughout his career, he remained a New Mexican through and through, bringing his family to the land of enchantment most summers and instilling in his 4 children a love of this state. His children have gone on to give greatly to others. Margaret Moses Branch, an attorney with Branch Law Firm, was the founding president of the New Mexico Women's Bar Association and has represented many clients in a wide variety of personal injury and mass tort claims. Margaret, along with other granddaughters, Karen Moses Altmans, who is the managing editor for New Mexico's largest newspaper. Yes, the Albuquerque Journal. The best newspaper. I don't know if there's other newspapers in here. That's what I think. And Dr. Elsie Moses Hogue, a professional development trainer, also dedicating her life to the public school system in the Albuquerque Public Schools. These, along with Tom Jr., who is coming in from Alaska, keep the Moses legacy alive. Remember the Chinese proverb I mentioned? That still rings true with the Moses family. All these trees are planted along the way, each growing, each providing shade. But what do trees need? And what do we need as New Mexicans? What does the mining industry need? Of course, that one element, water. Water runs through us. Pierre Nichols of Silver City, artist and student of Mimbres culture, native of southwest New Mexico, created a replica artifact of a membranous water gourd as a symbol of our appreciation for the Moses family's contribution to our rich culture and to our community. And at this time, Tom, if you'll do me the honors, I would like to present the first President's Legacy Award to the Moses family. Now, Tom, don't be going anywhere. You're not done yet. What I'd like you to do, if you'd be so inclined, is could you give us a few remarks, a few thoughts, a few remembrances of life for you as a child growing up, and what the Moses family, some of the thoughts that have occurred throughout, and some of the things you have seen. Would you do us that honor?
I sure will.
Thank you, sir.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, we've talked about the tree and the planting and everything. And I think it's very important, the good doctor has talked about one